Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day to everyone who watch this video. My name is Muhammad Bahtiar, and today I will complete my Applied Linguistic Project 2, which is solving a problem case. Without further ado, let's start the video. Here are the first problem. Case study 1. Mr. Thompson is a linguist studying the use of language in news reporting. He is particularly interested in how language can convey bias, shape public opinion, and influence the perception of news events. Mr. Thompson analyzed articles from various news outlets covering the same event to identify linguistic patterns that may indicate bias. He also considers the impact of these linguistic choices on the audience understanding and interpretation of the news. Question is, what linguistic feature should Mr. Thompson focus on to identify bias in news reporting? Discuss at least three features and explain how they can contribute to bias reporting. Here are my answers. First linguistic feature that Mr. Thompson can use is linguistic technique, plain style. As identified by Adam in 1993, one of the five principles of journalism design is linguistic technique. The plain style refers to the use of clear, straightforward language. However, when this principle is not followed, journalism may use emotionally charged or sensational language to sway readers' opinions. For example, choosing words like terrorist versus freedom fighter reveals bias and can shape the reader's perception of the subject. Biased linguistic choices subtly guide the audience toward a specific interpretation rather than allowing them to form their own. The second is narrative technique. The way a story is constructed also influences bias. According to the same principle, narrative techniques includes the selection and organization of facts to construct a particular storyline. A journalist may focus on certain aspects of event while ignoring others, creating a narrative that supports a particular ideology or agenda. This selective storytelling can distort the audience understanding of event, reinforcing stereotypes or political views. And answer number three is method of interpretation or meaning. This refers to how journalists explain or frame the significance of events, which can introduce bias. Journalism involves interpretation, not just reporting facts, but also explaining their implication. Through mediation, the meaning of events is often shaped by dominant media values or ideologies. For instance, describing a protest as a riot implies disorder and illegitimacy, whereas calling it a demonstration implies civic action. Such framing choices influence how readers interpret the news and whom they sympathize with. Next, we have case study 2. Imagine you are a language planner working for the government of a country with a diverse linguistic landscape. The country has several indigenous languages spoken by different ethnic as well as a dominant national language used for official purpose. Your task is to develop a language policy that promotes linguistic diversity while ensuring effective communication and national unity. The question is, how can the government promote the use and preservation of indigenous language through education? And here are my answers. First, we can use institutional support for multilingual education. Based on the applied linguistic principle that language issues are real-world problems requiring intervention by Broomfield, 1995, the government should implement mother tongue-based multilingual education, or MTB-MLE, in early education. This empowers children by validating their linguistic identity and enhancing learning outcomes. 2. Standardization and development of indigenous language. The concept of standard language can be applied to indigenous tongues by creating standard written form, developing curricula, and training teachers who are fluent in this language. This aligns with the idea that the standard language is the goal of education, even for minority or regional language. 3. Sociocultural integration in curriculum. Drawing on sociocultural theory, education should incorporate local histories, traditions, and ways of thinking, linking language learning with cultural identity. Language is not just a tool, but a reflection of thought. So, indigenous language must be seen as vessel of knowledge, not merely communication tools. And last but not least, teacher training and resource allocation. Language education should involve participatory method, Pavlenko and Antolf 2000, which require training local teachers who can teach in indigenous language effectively. Resources such as textbook, digital media, and learning aids should be produced in indigenous language to ensure accessibility and quality education. Here are the sources used in this presentation. That is all from me. Thank you for listening and thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.